Welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties Sports. Week 14 of the NFL is complete. And tonight we have the Rams versus 49ers to kick off Week 15. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just a little bit down. You know, my Knicks did not get a chance to go to Vegas, so I'm just a little bit upset. They played so horrible yesterday. But anyway, I had to drag myself in today, but I'm here.
All right. Hey, your Knicks ain't doing too bad. They got some work to do, but they ain't doing too bad. This week on Shout Out, we have performances from TWICY, plus the bad people. I wonder, do the bad people get on Santa's list? Will they find their shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button? Over to this bad woman, First Lady. We're ready. What you say?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The big birdie, known as Bill Belichick, is flying far away from the NFL to join the ranks of college coaching at the University of North Carolina. Did Bill get tired of the interview process with NFL owners and basically said, quote, I don't need no stinking NFL, end quote. Does it hurt his legacy at all if he is not the winningest NFL coach, but the one with 8 Super Bowl rings? I mean, he does have one more than Tom Brady. At 72, does this old dog still have the juice? In this new age of college football with players getting paid, is Bill's age and experience a true asset? When Bill leaves UNC, will his legacy be a national championship? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? So he had more rings than Tom Brady. Okay, because he got a ring as an assistant coach. Tom Brady has more rings than Bill Belichick as a head coach. I just had to make sure that was correct. We're going to have to look that up. I don't know if the producers say.
He has 8 rings.
Yeah. And Tom has what? 8 too, I thought.
Tom has 7.
Tom only has 7. Okay, but Bill Belichick got his other ring as an assistant coach, not as a head coach, but he does. Okay, so he does have more rings. All right, but anyway, I just thought I had to say that. But anyway, I mean, like everybody in the NFL, we are shocked that Bill Belichick is leaving the NFL for the NCAA. I mean, this is very shocking news because we really thought Belichick was an NFL lifer. But the main thing is he is a football lifer wherever that will be. So obviously he needed to play. He needed to coach. And, I don't think Bill got tired of the process. I think he realized that there wasn't an opportunity on his own terms. And that's what, with Bill Belichick. It was reported that the only team that interviewed him before the start of this season was the Atlanta Falcons. However, Bill Belichick wanted full control over players and, coaching and all that. The Falcons did not want to relinquish full control to him. So that's one of the reasons why he did not get the Atlanta Falcons job. And, everybody's talking about the Cowboys are out there, but, he's not going to have full control with Jerry Jones, so he knows that. And people are talking about the Giants' jobs and the Jets' jobs. So there were some jobs that Bill Belichick probably could have gone for. We don't know. But I just think, hey, it was about timing. They wanted to offer him this job at UNC, and he said he wanted to go. He had a 5-year contract. The terms of the monies, I haven't seen that as of yet. It'll leak out. I'm quite sure he got paid. And as far as his legacy and his chance to be the winningest coach, I don't think it's going to affect his legacy in the NFL. And obviously, he's not interested in that title of being the winningest coach. Because if he were, he would have waited out for an NFL job. But that didn't mean anything to him. What was important to him was the ability to coach again. So I don't think it will affect his legacy. He is one of the greatest coaches of all time. Some people say he is the greatest. But, he is definitely a great coach, and that will be his NFL legacy. Now, Bill at 72, he still has desire to coach, and this is why he took the job. To me, it's a job that is going to be new and challenging to him. So, he's got a 5-year deal, and I think Belichick will also have instant cachet in the college football arena. When you think about college game now, it is not the same old college game. It's completely different because of the NIL. Players are getting paid the same way players get paid in the NFL. It is what it is. That's what the college game is. The college game is becoming more like the NFL game, You have transfer portal. You got to know how to work that transfer portal. It's like a free agency for college football players. So, you have to be able to work it. And that's the whole thing, Nick Saban, he said he didn't want to work that darn transfer portal. He complained about NIL and all that. That's why he's out the game. Dabno Sweeney, Clemson coach, he was not fond of the transfer portal and everything. But, that's how these college coaches, they have to be able to know how to maneuver the college portal with the transfer, for these recruits. Because college players are not staying. It's all about the money now. Who is going to give me the money? So it sounds like free agency, right? That's what it sounds like to me, NFL free agency. So Bill is basically, he knows how to operate that process. Now, to me, where Belichick could have issue is recruitment. You have to reach out to high school 5-star players to have a chance to be successful in college football. So, that's what Bill has to do. Does he have the energy and desire to go sit in people's homes and talk to parents and talk to these high school recruits? Now, like I said, he does have that cachet. So, one of the things, one of these players can say, well, I played for Bill Belichick. So, that's something that, to me, will have a lot of it's going to mean a lot to a lot of these players. So I don't think he's going to have a problem recruiting, and I really think he can probably build UNC's program to a different level than what it is now. Will he win a national championship? It's a possibility he could win a national championship, and I don't think it's going to, again, affect his legacy to me. I just think it would be icing on top of the cake if he wins the national championship. I feel confident that he is going to change UNC's program. And you can rest assured they're going to be ranked next year. So that I think that's going to happen depending on how he does with the transfer portal and the recruits. I guess the recruits have already been signed already for upcoming season. I'm not sure how UNC did, but we'll see, because I think Bill Belichick will make a mark in the college arena. Spitface, what are you saying about the 8-time Super Bowl winning coach going college?
I just want to say now, Bill, the college culture is different than the NFL. So don't come in there with a big whip Remember, this is college. And I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the alumni. But I think that this was a brilliant move by a brilliant coach. And there's a difference when I'm approaching someone for opportunity as opposed to someone, hey, this might be an opportunity, and approaching me. So I got to give my hats off to UNC for even having the conversation with Big Belly. And he is not too old. I mean, Andy Reid ain't no spring chicken either. He may not be as old as Belichick, but neither one of them have to run up and down a field. You know, they do not have to block anybody. They don't have to tackle anybody. They don't have to catch no balls. And mentally, they're as sharp as it comes. You just ain't getting better. And Bill knows how to put together a staff. I think that there was some issues with the Patriots and the owner and a certain quarterback that just kind of made things, let's say, the love was starting to go. So, that was a different situation. But I think that Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders will be the two most regarded coaches for the next few years. They both have the ability to, on their own cred and personality, to have players go, I want to play for you. I want to play for you. And that will serve them well because other college coaches just don't have that kind of cred. And if anybody can build an organization, again, it's Bill Belichick. UNC does not have to win a national championship for Bill to leave a dramatic mark on college football. And First Lady, they will be ranked. I'm looking at the mastery that Bill will bring is, as you said, in that transfer portal. And, they may have already, we already, recruited who we're going to recruit unless people drop out, change their mind, all that other kind of stuff. But the transfer portal that coaches are figuring out, I think this old dog that said, hey, you don't need no tricks. Tricks are for kids. I got some experience with working rules, regulations, and any little caveat that will give me an edge. And he is masterful at that. And at this time, it's ripe. It's just like it's ripe for him to come in and go, oh, so this is how this transfer portal thing works. Let's look at all the rules. Let's look at all the, options we have available and work out that strategy. So his first year expectations will be high, but they'll just be high that can UNC get ranked? And there's a strong possibility that he'll have that happen. When he leaves, they may not have a national championship, but they will be in the top 10. And from where they've been over 40 years, 50 years ago to being a top 10 team and relevant, that in itself, would like signed, sealed, and delivered. So I'm going, all you old dogs out there, that's right, all of y'all, get on up off that couch, dust off that pad, put on your game clothes. But one thing I'll say is that I'm glad Bill didn't Well, I'm glad he can do I want a coaching job so I can break a record. Now I can get that. Look, I coach. That's what I like to do. I'm gonna be buried as a coach. The man loves coaching. He's been doing it. That's his life. So I can get that. I want to coach at the highest level. That's what I want to do, and it has nothing to do with breaking a record, as opposed to how many players have I seen who they were past their day, and teams kept them on. Really way past their day, just so that they could break a record. And to me, it kind of waters down the record, and certain records. It's a case by case thing. Because I still think that Emmett may have the all-time record, but I'm like, personally, now that might be my anti-Dallas thing. But Bill, congratulations, and blow them out the water, Bill. Let you and the UNC make some noise. Get them. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay. Well, he doesn't need, like you said, that record obviously doesn't mean too much to him, because if it did, he would have stayed in the NFL. But he didn't do that. And it's a testament to him that he wanted to try something new. And like I said, he's not an NFL lifer; he's a football lifer. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Okay. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting structures in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition. I'm towering. Reconcile when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest of the August sliced and diced competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch that any hope the Dallas Cowboys had of making the playoffs by the Bengals. Micah Parsons was upset. I mean, really upset. I mean, fire breathe the dragon doing the winter upset. A mistake on special teams causing the Bengals to get the ball back on a punt to the Cowboys. How does that happen? Have the Cowboys overpaid for an aging QB who is increasingly injury prone? Does it really matter if the Cowboys get a new coach? Leroy Satchel Page, Walter Buckletter, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. First Lady, now, being a Bears fan, if we beat Green Bay and the Bears have go above 500, that's our Super Bowl. We happy as can be. But it's like there are teams who they feel teams that just aren't that good. The teams need, like the Giants, the team just ain't that good. Okay. And it's not, no matter what happens, the team wasn't that good. But the Cowboys, on paper, always have these teams that should be not just good, they should be elite. They should be elite. That's the thing. And Cowboys fans expect elite teams when maybe the teams are just good. They're a good team, but maybe they're just good. They're not Super Bowl winners. They're not the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not the Buffalo Bills. They're the Cowboys, and that's just who they are. And when there are times when you look and you go, "Gee, you guys don't look like y'all could buy a break." I mean, here it is, don't touch the ball. And I'm not even blaming the special teams for that. I'm not doing that. Because it can happen. It can happen. So I'm not going to throw a bunch of blame on that special teams player for something that kind of rarely happens, but it happened. But that's what happens with the Cowboys. And they got some, well, it's too late to make some decisions. They're not getting rid of McCarthy. Why? Why get rid of McCarthy? To do what? Because you still got the team that you got. I'm looking at Dak, and I'm just, Money Mayweather. I go, Money Mayweather, sit down. It's Dak money. It's money Dak. Cause Dak got money falling out of his pockets and stuff, and Dak is not getting any younger. These are his quote prime years. And he's starting to look like an injury machine. So I'm like, y'all dropped a bunch of cash. But I'm going, that got skills, but is he able to stay healthy long enough to do anything? And and you got the team that you got. And Parsons, I'd be upset too, because y'all played, like I said, now you are an elite player, but the team made, following you, is elite at times, but hell, even the Bears on a good day can look, like that. So, but First Lady, I'm beginning to think the Cowboys are cursed. And they need a cleaning. Miss Cleo to the rescue. What you saying?
Well, Stephen A. Smith always says there's a black cat running around Dallas with them when it comes to them Cowboys. But, Micah Parsons needs to learn how to be quiet sometimes. He says things that literally do not make sense. For him to say, quote, "This one hurt me more than any loss this year, probably even worse than a playoff loss, to be honest," end quote. A regular season game loss worse than a playoff loss? You play to win a championship, so a playoff loss is your worst loss. So I don't know what Michael Parsons is talking about. Now, on the other hand, he probably was right about this loss hurting him more than any loss this year. I can understand that part of it, but of his quote, but not about a playoff loss. The Cowboys this season have lost a lot of games, and this was a bad way to lose a game. I mean, your team is in overtime. You stop Burrows, who was having a great game with passing yards. Then your special teams blocked the punt, giving you a chance to be in position to score a touchdown or to kick a field goal to win the game. But one of the players is not aware of the rules. When the ball is beyond the scrimmage line and the defensive team touches the ball without controlling it, the offensive team can receive the possession back if they recover the football. Again, this is about coaching. The players should have been reminded about the situation, or this should have been addressed during practices. So many of the Cowboys' errors this season was a result of football mental errors that are a direct correlation with them not being prepared by the coaching staff. I mean, the Cowboys are in trouble. They are in deep trouble. I mean, this team, they still have players to pay, including Micah Parsons. I mean, they are in trouble because there's not too much they probably can do to this current team. So it really isn't too much they can do to this current team because they still got players to pay. And, I mean, unfortunately, they gave Dak a lot of money, and he is always injured. I mean, did they overpay him? Yes, but they had no choice. They had to overpay him because they waited too late to pay him. If they had paid him earlier, they wouldn't have to pay him as much as they did. This, again, is Jerry's fault. Jerry has been a horrible GM for the Cowboys, and this is the reason why this team is going to continue not to do well until Jerry removes himself as the GM. What owner is a GM on a football team? Jerry needs to just pay the players. He doesn't need to pick the players. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand why he's trying to be the GM, because I guess he's trying to say that if they win a championship, it was all because of him. I mean, his ego is getting in the way of this team being good. I mean, I don't even know how his son is, but at least let his son try to become the GM. It just doesn't make any sense what Jerry is doing. And could it make a difference if a new coach is hired? I say, yeah, it could make a difference. I mean, to be honest with you, I think they need to get a better coach than Mike McCarthy. I'm not going to say Mike McCarthy is not a good coach, but right in this particular team, he hasn't been a good coach because the team makes so many errors and issues that are direct related to coaching. That's the problem with the Cowboys. They just make too many mental errors. They don't play the way they should play. I mean, they're just, unfortunately, they're in a heap of trouble, to be honest with you. As I said, Jerry is the real problem, and the roster is going to be a major, major problem. I mean, to be honest with you, the way their cap is right now, because of the fact that Dak got paid, they got to pay. I think C.D. Lamb, did he get paid? I think he did. I can't remember C.D. if he didn't get paid. But they got a lot of players to pay. Micah Parsons is one of them. I hate to say they may need to trade Micah Parsons. I don't know. There's something they need to do. But he's probably their best edge rusher. I mean, the Cowboys have a chance to be in that for at least the next couple of years. And that's not saying too much about the Cowboys. I mean, it is not great at all. I mean, the America's team is not going to be America's team anymore if they don't get their act together. That's all I'm saying, Spitface.
Well, First Lady, I think you hit the nail on the head. They are suffering from ADS. And for those who are wondering what ADS is, it's called Al Davis syndrome.
I forgot about him.
Because I put it like this: the Raiders are now wandering in the desert. First Lady, you had the last word on that. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from TWICY on Shout Out Part 1. Did I pronounce it right? TWICY?
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from TWICY.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On the first part of Shout Out, we are featuring music from TWICY out of Atlanta from his hit album, Live It Up. They say, quote, TWICY's music is all about the Afro beats, end quote. Let's hear the title track from his album, Live It Up.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for tomorrow. Say we the party all night, and in the day we the grind. You know we got only one life, eh? So make we turn on the lights. Oh, only your life like there's no tomorrow. Tomorrow, today. We only have today. Only your life like there's no more. Tomorrow, today. We only have today. Oh, live it up and feel okay. No say time no day. If life no cream, make them come stop, yeah. Do your thing, yeah. Say we the party all night. And in the day we the grind. You know we got only one life, eh. So make we turn on the lights. So enjoy, forget your problems, enjoy. Join the party, enjoy. Oh, enjoy, say enjoy. Oh, join the party, enjoy. Forget your problems, enjoy. Oh, join the party, enjoy. Say enjoy. Only your life, like there's no more. Hey, we only have today. Only your life, like there's no more. Tomorrow, today. We only have today. Only your life, like there's no more. We only have today. Only your life, like there's no more. Tomorrow, today. We only have today.
All right. Spitface is living it up, getting a shout out or the mute button.
Hey. I'm giving it a shout out. It was a little bit short for me, you know. I'm like, I'm in the groove, and then I got to fade away. I'm like, man, you know, you got the energy going, the juice, especially for getting up in the morning. You know, the coffee rolling, and you know, so give us a little more meat, brother. But I'm giving it a shout out.
Okay, you're going to give it a shout. I'm going to give the track a shout out also. You know, I like Afro beats. Afro beats is very, very popular in the United States now. And, you know, I enjoy the music. It's usually it is a very lively type of music. And, yeah, it was a little short track. So, but he said I guess, living it up. He's going to continue to live it up. But, TWICY, he has a nice voice, and yeah, the very typical Afro beach track. So I'm definitely going to shout it out. If you like what you heard from TWICY, check him out on the Old Grumpy Radio Network and TWICYmusic.com, and that's TWICY music.com. On part 2 of Shout Out, we'll be featuring a performance from the Bad People. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
Time for Flip It, while hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Steelers are sitting atop their division at 10-3. Do they have a legit shot at beating KC and making it to the Super Bowl? Defend. The Steelers are always underestimated. They can beat KC and go all the way. First Lady, the Steelers don't get no love. They don't. It just seems like they don't get no love, and all they do is keep having a winning record and being competitive with whoever they got playing under center, whoever they got catching the ball, whoever they got on defense. Somehow, way, they have a coach and an organization that seems to get these boys to work, and I think what it is about the Steelers is that they don't, they have star players, but it's like they don't have those superstars that, it's like Like Joe Burrow gets bigger props than Russell Wilson. And now Joe Burrow's smoking. He a bad member jammer, you know. But Russell's, you know, it just ain't in there. You know, it's like the Steelers might have one player who's like, quote, a superstar, and everybody else is kind of like, oh, well, they're stars, but, you know, we only got this one. You know, like on defense, you know, they got TJ or you know, so it's like they don't quite get any props there. But they will beat you, and they will beat you bad. And KC, you know, the Steelers having to go to a cold Kansas City, it's like, oh, y'all think this is cold? Shoot, we do this. This is a walk in the park for us. You know, this is the average day. So, you know, cold ain't gonna bother them at all. What could get KC is that the Steelers actually know how to play defense. They actually know how to organize their defense around whatever weaknesses you got. And people come up with plays. And so it's not Russell will be able to do his thing, but it ain't all going to be on Russell. It's going to be on that running game. It's going to be on that, you know, every component. And believe me, the Steelers will not block a punt and end up with the other team getting the ball. It just ain't going to happen. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. First Lady defend.
Yeah. Each week, the pundits have the Steelers as underdogs, but they continue to win. Russell Wilson has resurrected his career in Pittsburgh. He was basically 1 foot out of the NFL, but he went to Pittsburgh, was injured earlier in the season, and obviously Justin Fields was playing. But Mike Tomlin, he really believes in Russell Wilson. He liked Fields, but he knew that it was Russell Wilson that was going to have to take them to the promised land. And guess what? He was right on point with that. I mean, they win games when people just count them out. I mean, Mike Tomlin knows how to get his players to play. His players play for him. Like you said, Spitface, they don't have any superstars, but they have hard-working, gritty players. Like you said, TJ is probably the best superstar they have along with Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson is, you know, not in his prime anymore. But he still can get the job done. And TJ on that he anchors that defense. And, yes, that is their secret weapon, the defense. They are known as a defensive team. I mean, when they had Roethlisberger, they was more known as an offensive team. But now they're a defensive team. Their defense is their strong point, and their offense is doing well with Russell Wilson. Doing well. It's a well-rounded team on the offense because they know how to throw the ball. They don't, you know, Russell can still wing that ball out there to get long catches, but, you know, they have they do the ground and pound. So, you know, Najee Harris is still, right, Najee Harris is with them. So they just know how to win. And Tomlin, I mean, hey, he's never had a losing season. So what do you expect? This man has never had a losing season. So I don't, let me tell you, they can continue to underestimate the Pittsburgh Steelers, but guess what? They're going to continue to win. And Kansas City is very beatable this year. Kansas City basically has been winning games by field goals, maybe a touchdown. They really have not blown anybody out. So they are very, very beatable. Their defense continues. Actually, their defense hasn't been as great as it was last year. And the offense, I don't know what's going on, but, you know, they do have Patrick Mahomes, and that's a lot of times he's able to pull out a lot of games for them. But they are very beatable. So I don't underestimate the Steelers being able to beat the Kansas City and go all the way.
All right, okay. Well, let's flip it and defend. The Steelers are tough, but they ain't tough enough to beat KC in the playoffs. And First Lady, I give mass kudos to the Steelers. And at the end of the day, they will be in the AFC Championship game. I do have it that whatever the way the cards sort out, they will be in the AFC Championship game. And if they're playing KC, that darn elf, that darn elf, Patrick Mahomes will get them. He will get them. There is, it may be a battle of the defense, but it's like Tom Brady back in the Patriot days. Do not let him have the ball at the end of the game. And if they're playing on KC turf, as tight and as tough as it is, Mahomes is going to figure out a way to get that last play, that dagger in the heart. And I think that the Steelers versus KC will be a better matchup than the Bills versus KC, because I expect the Bills to choke, which is kind of consistent with them when it comes to KC in the playoffs. Now, the Steelers, it's gonna be like Ali and Frazier, the Rumble in the Jungle, and all that. They're gonna get down. It's gonna, we may see Patrick Mahomes' best ball playing against KC. His really balling out. But as tough as they are, and as well as Russell has played, now Russell is, he done turned into a little gunslinger. That ball be coming out. But part of that is because Russell ain't got no weed. That boy can't run like he used to. He used to have a little escapability. Russell is, time to caught up with his running. Now, his arm is as great as ever. His decision-making is great. But I don't have it that the Steelers' offensive line against that KC defense, would be able to keep him out of trouble. So I had to give that edge to the reigning Super Bowl champs. First Lady, what you say?
Well, the question is, will the Steelers make it to the AFC conference? Because, the Steelers have one of the toughest remaining schedules, which will probably determine their playoff seeding. They play Philadelphia, they play the Ravens, and they actually play the Chiefs on Christmas Day. So they're going to be able to play the Chiefs before they even get to that conference championship. Now, I think they're going to get through this schedule, and if they do get to that conference championship, yes, they got to run into Mr. Patrick Mahomes. And it's going to be a tough battle because the Chiefs defensively are outstanding. And offensively, they're about average. Russell's playing well. Even the KC offense has been average with Patrick Mahomes. But the one thing, as you indicated, they have Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has been able to pull out wins for the Chiefs this entire season. I've always said, when we play our picket game, I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I never bet against Patrick Mahomes because he is the reason that they can win and the reason why the Steelers can't win, because he is that special when it comes down to winning time. Now, during the whole game, things may not go Patrick's way. I mean, the offense has really been very pedestrian this entire season. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I don't even think Patrick's had 3 touchdowns in one game this season. I have to go back and look at the statistics, but basically they have not been, making touchdowns. The games have been very close. Every team that they play has been in it. Even the bad teams are in it. So that's what it comes down to for the Chiefs. But the one thing that that set them apart from everybody else is the heroics of Patrick Mahomes. He's able to push them over the hump in order to win the game. And I don't know if Russell Wilson can do that for the Steelers. That's the main difference. So that's why, KC, they can beat the Steelers. The Steelers are tough. They'll try what they can do. But if it's coming down to the last couple of plays, it's going to be up to Mr. Mahomes. He's going to get them over the hump. And that's the reason why the Steelers cannot beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs.
First Lady, over to you for more Flipped.
We wonder it's nearly impossible for a player other than a quarterback to win the MVP. Should there be a most valuable quarterback award and a most valuable player that allows a broader range of players to receive the award? Spitface defend. It's a great idea, and it would let someone like Saquon Barkley receive the award.
First Lady, I love me some quarterbacks. I do love, hey, they're the ones handling the ball, like darn near 100% of the time. It's going to be in their hand to make a decision. But it is so, things are so weighted in whatever the committee, however they vote for the MVP for quarterbacks that, to me, it should just be, here's the most valuable QB award for the year. And as far as the player, I think there's more to the player, most valuable player, than quarterback stats. There are players whose team, even though they have a top quarterback, would go nowhere without that Derrick Henry. Would go nowhere without Jeffries. And these players who might be bringing actually bringing the competitive edge for Saquon Barkley to their team, they can never get the award. And I would consider a lot of them more valuable than the top quarterback. Otherwise, it's almost like, well, why doesn't Patrick Mahomes get the MVP every year? Because obviously he's the most valuable player because they keep winning Super Bowls. So, there has to be a way to let Saquon Barkley get the MVP for the work, for where he's brought his team, or a player of that caliber who, they only come around every once in a while, but they're making that, or a defensive player. So it's so stacked in favor of quarterbacks that I can go with, hey, look, let's get the most valuable QB, and let's get the most valuable player, and maybe let us fans get in on the selection, because I think that might actually be fair. So I love the idea. Love it, First Lady.
All right, yes. I love it too, because back in the day, it wasn't always about the quarterback. The most valuable player could be a running back or a defensive player now. These writers have put so much emphasis on the quarterback as being the main reason why a team is winning. Do you know 2012 was the last year a non-quarterback won the award? 2012. 12 years ago. And that person was the running back Adrian Peterson. Now, what's even more crazier, the last time a defensive player won the award was in 1986 Lawrence Taylor. My goodness. I mean, there is just too much emphasis on the quarterback that, yes, they need to have a separate award for the quarterback. You know, you have the most valuable quarterback award, yes. And then you got the most valuable player award being a non-quarterback. So, I think we need to separate it. Yeah, that needs to be separated because at the rate that we're going, a non-quarterback will never win the award because, again, these writers are putting so much emphasis on the quarterback. Everything is about the quarterback. But no, everything is not about the quarterback. The quarterback, the quarterback obviously will throw the ball to get the touchdown, but you got the wide receivers that have to catch the ball. You got the running backs that have to run. You got the offensive line that has to protect the quarterback in order for the quarterback to throw the pass. So like you were saying, Spitface, it's more to this situation than just being the quarterback. But when it comes to the voting process, that's all it's about. It's about the quarterback. So I like the ideal of having the most valuable quarterback and then having the most valuable player, and that being a non-quarterback. And I think that would broaden the range of other players to receive the award. So kudos to whoever came up with that ideal. It needs to be done, and the NFL needs to tweak it and do it. All right, this is about flipping it. Let's flip it. Spitface, defend. We don't need to fix the MVP process or add a new carrot just for quarterbacks.
First lady, as tough as it is for a non-quarterback to win the MVP, let's just leave it alone. Let's just leave it alone. Because sometimes you try to add the fix in, and now it just ends up being more stuff. There's the defensive player of the year. There's the offensive player of the year. And there's the MVP. All right, that's enough. That's enough to I'll just say honor these guys who making millions of dollars. We don't need another category, and I can see them adding another category just because that would give them another award show. Okay, we get more content for NFL Network. Leave it alone. I do think that there'll be as time goes on, there'll be a softening of attitudes and biasness toward the quarterbacks are everything, because the writers, eventually the fans get to the writers and they want to go with the crowd. Eventually they're gonna, because they don't want to lose audience, and we'll start seeing players other than quarterbacks. The writers, they're aware that it's just too top heavy, and it's not, and that won't last. And so it will correct itself. But the solution is not to add another award show for the NFL Network. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the system is broken because it is too much emphasis on the quarterback, and I agree, it is broken, but in this case, it doesn't need to be fixed. I mean, most of the time when it's broken, you're supposed to fix it, but in this case, you don't need to fix it because you're right, Spitface. We already got all these other categories. We just need to leave it alone, and it's up to the writers to change their perspective of the game and allowing other positions to be considered for MVP. And I think it's going to start this year because I think if Saquon Barkley breaks that record, I truly believe he will be the MVP, because let's look at the Eagles. Without the Eagles, Saquon Barkley, where will the Eagles be? He is the MVP of that team. Now, yes, he's going against Josh Allen. Yes, Josh Allen has had a great year too. He is the MVP. However, what has Josh Allen done spectacular? He hasn't been, he's been spectacular, but we're talking about a career record possible breaking year for Saquon, that has to have more weight than Josh Allen winning the MVP. So I think it's going to be fixed this year, and when Saquon wins it, that's what the system needs. The system needs another position to win this award in order to fix the process. But it's not going to be having all these different categories and having a best most valuable quarterback award. That's not going to help, and there's always going to be an issue with that. Then it's going to be an issue who's going to be the non-quarterback MVP. So I think you just don't want to cause any more confusion than we have. It is totally up to the writers to make that change, and they can start this year by picking Saquon Barkley. That's what needs to be done, and hopefully, I think Saquon will get it done, and that once we do that, then you'll see everything will change. All right. Spitface, over to you. Please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have a performance from the Bad People. On Shout Out Part 2, please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
On the second part of Shout-Out, we are featuring music from the Bad People out of Northridge with their hit album, Christmas in L.A. They say the Bad People is an emerging hip-hop group. Okay, let's hear Christmas in L.A. Jingle bells.
You won't see any snow, it's very even cold.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
The sun is gonna shine, the weather's feeling fine.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
No need for sleigh rides, we rolling day and night.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
Sugar and spice, the side is on ice.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
Santa Claus loves Christmas in L.A. If he had more time, he'd stay all day, taking in the scenery in no big hurry. Trading his red coat for a Lakers jersey.
He won't see any snow, it's very even cold.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
The sun is gonna shine, the weather's feeling fine.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
No need for sleigh rides, we rolling day and night.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
Sugar and spice, the side is on ice.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
A laid-back atmosphere feels like a blessing, and a trip to the beach is not out of question. If you're hoping for snowflakes, well, I beg your pardon. We don't dream of white Christmases, we dream of stardom.
You won't see any snow, it's very even cold.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
The sun is gonna shine, the weather's feeling fine.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
No need for sleigh rides, we rolling day and night.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
Sugar and spice, the side is on ice.
'Cause this is Christmas in L.A.
All right, let's see. Christmas in L.A. First Lady, what's the verdict? Is Christmas in L.A. getting a shout-out of the mute button?
Well, I'm definitely going to I'm going to shout it out. It started off a little bit rough in the beginning. It seemed like there was some confusion there who was singing or the music. It it was rough. But then after they came back with the actual song, it seemed like, I don't know, the interlude or whatever the situation was. But I like Christmas in L.A. It's a Christmas in L.A. All right. I don't know what's special about Christmas in L.A., but I like the song. I'm going to shout it out.
Well, I'm giving it a shout out. Part of me was like, I was wondering if it was like a gag song or if it was a real song. So I think it kind of left you in that space of which one is it. But it had a real nice beat. They put it together really nicely. So I'm giving it a shout out. That is the end of shout out. You can check out the bad people at rawnakedentertainment.com and the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent at oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
All right. It is time for the picks, week number 15. Before we get to the picks, it's time to go over the results. We got several results for several weeks. The production assistants finally got everything together. All right. So for week 9, I led with 110 million points. Spitface, you had negative 110 million, and Dizzy Mac had negative 140 million. For week 10, I led with 450 million points. Spitface, you had 300 million. Dizzy Mac had 200 million. Week 11, Dizzy Mac and I led goose eggs. We each got 0 points, 0 points. Spitface, you led with 50 million points on week 11. All right, week 12, I led with 530 million points. Dizzy Mac had 350 million points. And Spitface, you had 230 million points. Week 13, I led with 450 million points. Spitface, you had 400 million points, and Dizzy Mac had 150 million points. Week 14, Spitface and, Spitface had 275 million points, and I had 275 million points, and Dizzy Mac had 75 million points. All right, so based off of those grand totals are through week 14, I am leading with 2,223 million points. Spitface, you have 1,073 million points, and Dizzy Mac is bringing up the rear with 783 million points. Now, I don't feel comfortable because I've led before, and somebody will come and swoop in and win. So I'm happy, but I'm not that, I'm not getting all bent out of shape because I'm winning, because there's always things can change. Let's just put it that way. Things can change very quickly. All right, so let's get to the current picks for the week. That's the Thursday night gotcha game. The Rams versus the 49ers. Oh, well, the Rams are playing well, but the 49ers played well, too. Brock Purdy is back. So I'm going to do like Spitface usually does and go with the home team. I'm going with the 49ers. We'll get Dizzy Mac results later. Spitface, what's your pick?
The Rams.
Ooh, you going with the Rams. All right.
49ers, too many injuries for me. And just because they beat the Bears.
But they are home. That's not like the Rams place, because the Rams place, it don't seem like it's a home game for them. But it's for some reason, because it's L.A. All right. The Dolphins against the Texans. Who you going with, Spitface?
The Texans kind of scare me, while the Dolphins, they need every win. I'm going to go with the Fish.
All right. Oh, I'm surprised. Now I'm going with the Texans, because the Texans need that win. All right, the Commanders versus the Saints. I am going with the, oh boy, let's see. I'm going to go with the Saints. The Commanders. Not the Saints. I'm going with the Commanders. Who you going with, Spitface?
I'm rolling with the Commanders. The Saints need some help.
All right. The Bengals versus the Titans. Who you rolling with, Spitface?
I'm rolling with them Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Bengals also. Titans are no good. Yeah, even I think they did beat somebody. All right. This is a great game here because this has a lot of playoff implications. The Colts versus the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Who you going with, Spitface?
Bo Nix.
All right. Another girl. They got some great games this week. The Bills versus the Lions. Oh, that's a tough one. That must be the Sunday night game. I'm not sure which game it is. Who you going with, Spitface?
I'm going with the Lions.
I know. The Bills need to win because the Bills lost last week. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions, too. I'm going to go with the Lions. This is a big game for them. Big game. All right. The Buccaneers versus the Chargers. I'm going to go with, this is a toughie one here. You know what? I'm going to go with the Bucs. Who you going with, Spitface?
I like the Bucs, but I'm going to go with Harbaugh and the Chargers at home.
All right. Steelers versus the Eagles. Steelers versus the Eagles. Who you going with, Spitface?
Man. I hate going against Money Mike and the Steelers, but I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think it's gonna be tight, but Eagles got that edge being at home.
Going with the Eagles. I'm going with the Steelers. I think all the problems with the Eagles this week, I don't know. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think a lot of their fans will travel up to Philadelphia for this weekend, and I think that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. Oh, and I can't mention that those last points those last games, all of them were worth 50 points, and the Thursday night gotcha game was worth 100 million points. The Sunday night madness game. So I thought the Bills Lions would have been Sunday night game, but I guess that's going to be the 4-something game. So Sunday night madness game's worth 100 million points. Packers versus the Seahawks. I am going to go. I have always gone against the Packers. Not the Seahawks, but I'm gonna go with the Packers. Who do you have, Spitfish?
I'm gonna go with the Geno Pizza.
Seahawks. All right. And we got one more. We got the Monday Night Bash worth 50 points. We got the Bears versus the Vikings. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm rolling with the Vikings, and I can see this being a trap game for the Vikings. Because this is a game they should win, and that's the problem. The Vikings, they make me nervous.
They make you nervous.
Yeah, because they kind of look like it's teams that they should just really beat. They beat them, but it's like y'all could have lost that game. So I'm not on the Vikings boat yet.
So you're taking the Bears?
No, I'm going with the Vikings.
Oh, you're going with the Vikings. Oh, okay. Oh, I misunderstood
Well,
you.
I said the Vikings, but I said I think it might be a trap game. For the
trap game. Okay. Nah, ain't gonna be no trap game for the Vikings. They're playing the Bears. I'm going with the Vikings. That's no trap.
Bears need that high draft pick. They need to lose the rest of the season so they can at least get a 4 or 5 pick. Hey, it's picked. I start rooting for the picks now.
Yeah. How many picks they gonna get? I mean, come on now. You got to start parlaying these picks into winning, and they obviously haven't done that. So.
Yeah, not with that coach. Well, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. So, all right. So it's time for the top story to watch this week. Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
How much money Big Bill is getting paid. We want to know. Yes,
we want to know. For me, the top story to watch this week is, the NBA is started their Amherst Cup tournament. It'll be the rest of this weekend into next. I think Tuesday night is the championship game. This Saturday are the quarterfinals. So that's all I'm saying. That's the big story to watch this week. All right. Check out our current and previous episodes at BrasPantiesAndSports.com and our Facebook page, BPN Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk. And Spitface, you have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. That's a wrap. See you next week.